They didn't take any of those things. It just took me and my effort. So I always love school and I always like learning. I love learning to this day. All right, and I'm always open. I don't care. Everybody can teach me something because we've all had a different life journey. Okay, I haven't walked in your footsteps, you haven't walked in mine, so you can learn from everybody. Okay, let's skip through one of the highlights of, I think when I was 18, highlights, I won a 4-year academic scholarship. That's how I got to college. Okay, and it was a national scholarship, so I was one of 12 students at that time nationwide and the first in my area. And I never forget my mother kept pushing me to fill out this application. I didn't want to do it. So finally, to get her off my back, I completed it. I'll never forget how she took it, and she took some plastic and she wrapped it all up to make sure it was nice and protected, and took it to work to submit. So you can imagine months later when it was announced, it was a big thing. I was in the paper 2 or 3 times. They came to my school doing awards. It was a big thing. But I have always expected nice things to happen to me. And I say that because in between 10 and 18, maybe about 15, I had a dream. And the dream was that when I got to be older, that everything was gonna be okay. I didn't have to worry about money. I didn't have to worry about anything. So I believed that dream. I believed that vision, and I've lived with that. So that's why I've been so daring, because I already know God has shown me that I'm gonna be okay when I get older. Okay, and I am. I'm retired. I don't need nobody's money. Okay.
Good.
And I didn't even work that hard for it. Didn't work that long. Anyway, so so on the street, I was first. I was a high school pitcher. Going back to you need people. When I was in the 4th or 5th grade, we had a white guy would drive through our community in a van, Mr. Baker, doing dry cleaning. He'd come out of your house, pick up your dry cleaning, and then return it to you, then you pay him like that. So Mr. Becker was also coach of a softball team. So he came asking to come play softball. Did not. But Lauren Dorman did. And so she joined the team first, and then the next year, I joined, and the second year after that, he taught me how to be a pitcher. His daughter was a team pitcher. He taught me how to pitch. And that was a lot of my self-esteem during that time came from playing softball. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I was an expert. Okay? I loved it. I loved it. And it helped to build up my self-esteem and my sense of self-worth. Okay? If I do something, I do it well. But he was a white guy. And he taught me how to be a pitcher, softball pitcher. And eventually, when I got to high school, I was a softball pitcher for my team. Took the first black. You have to remember, it's integration. Not a black folks did a lot of things. And I did it the first day of tryouts. All white, of course. All the team was white. And they kept walking by me saying, we already got our spots picked out. We already got our pitcher. We already got our people. They kept saying, come and walk by saying that to me. So make sure I heard that the team is already set up. Till it was my time to pitch. Okay. 1 pitch, 2 pitch, she's our pitcher. Okay, I was 10 times harder and 10 times more accurately. But it came from parent support, because when I was learning how to be a pitcher, my mother brought me a little pitch thing, put it in the front yard, and I practiced. And I practiced, and I threw it, and I practiced. That's how I became so good. So anything in life you're going to be good at, you got to put the time in.
Yeah.
You got to put the time
Say
in.
that again.
Yes, please.
You do. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to put the time in.
You do.
So,
Yeah, and I wanted to add, we just talked about having that dream and feeling like you knew that everything was going to be okay. I didn't specifically have a dream, but I had experience from when I was very young that anything that I asked God for, I got. And so I was clear, I walked with that most of my life. And so for me, it also has been to me, like, feeling like constantly being blessed or constantly having, because I had a faith that is unwavering, that I know that if I ask for anything, it's coming.
Right.
And I used to tell my husband all the time, I'm always gonna land on my feet. Like, but hearing you say that is making me, because the other thing I did not say is I'm also a healer and a coach. So I support people with changing the narratives of their life, or healing what's not working.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And one of the things that's been present for me just recently is the use or proper use or misuse of your imagination. So with you being clear about, it's like you created that life because you had the dream and believed it, so therefore it dictated this is the landscape. And so learning that, because now I'm in the process of saying, so how do I teach that to other people so that they are actually using their imagination not for bad, but for
Okay, yeah, you know, I have to tell you, I'm very slack coming here tonight because I had meant to bring samples of all of my work and left the house. It was raining and I just forgot everything. But Profiles and Angles, my publication, my line at the top is always fear of tomorrow can hinder today's imagination. Yeah. You can't have fear. I mean, we're human, but you have to step over it. You have to step over it and say, you know what, you gotta lose. That's why I use the term life journey. My sister who's deceased. I'll tell you about that later. I used to say to her all the time, she was going through her illness. I said, well, you know, life is a journey. So you know, if you're here today, you're not gonna be here all the rest of your life.
Right.
You know, so cheer up. It might be a tough time today, but you're not gonna stay in that place all your life. So look at it as just a stopping point, okay? And keep pushing. And keep pushing. You know, you just there for a moment. And I don't know about you all, but I've been in some really difficult situations because of the position I've taken. That money would not control me. Money would not control me, okay? Materialism versus spiritualism. I decided that very early in life. I'm not impressed if people talk about all they have, okay? I'm more impressed with people who are doing, what's your legacy? What are you doing to help other people? And what have you done? So that's what impresses me. And what sacrifices have you made? Now, if you're successful, that's great.
And how many times have you failed?
Right.
Oh, a lot, yeah.
No,
I get you saying.
that's what I want to hear. I want to hear how many times have you failed.
Yeah.
Don't tell me an overnight success. Let's hear about
Nothing is
all-
overnight.
no.
Nothing is overnight. Even when you think about, I'm not a fan. I'm not a Beehive member, but people look at her as instant success. But she started, she was 8 or 9.
right.
So about 10 years later, that's when she gets known. It took them 10 years. And then most things take 10 years.
Right, because failure lends to success.
Yes.
If you look at it the right way.
Because the first time they failed, they were dancing. They're trying to come out as dancers. When Beyonce and whoever they are, when they they were dancers and they didn't win. So they changed. And that's what you have to do also in business. Don't keep going down. I learned that the hard way too. Don't keep going down the path and it isn't working. It doesn't mean, give it up altogether, but maybe twerk it some. Listen to other people, read what they're doing, see what works for them and see what will work with you, because we all are different. So what works for Selena or Mrs. Jones may not work for Arlene, right? But you can still learn a little bit of what they're doing, like, oh, that's a good idea. Okay, I think I'll do that this way and to help me. All right, not stealing but gleaning, okay? Say it like that. Go past some of this high school stuff, 18, of course, started Towson. And I put this in here about, before that, the first Black accepted to a nursing school in Easton. Before I was notified about my 4-year scholarship, I was going to nursing school in Easton. I had been accepted at this nursing school. And I was the first Black that they had accepted. 46 years later, I'm talking to my niece, and she's telling me they hardly accept Blacks even now. You can't even get in. Wow. This was 46 years later. Wow. And they were so hurt when I didn't go there. But I had a 4-year scholarship, and I had to go to a 4-year school. So, anyway, so I went to Towson, and I had too much fun. And, I'm just going to be honest, I had too much fun. But while I was there, I did manage to do some things. I did write for Black Student Union, which was only about 3 or 4 years old. At that time, you would never believe it, I wish I had the yearbooks here to show you, we had a predominantly Black cheerleading squad. People don't believe that. They don't believe that because, Towson right now, if they got 20 girls, you might have 1 or 2 that are Black. But back then, it was the reverse. Okay, we came in and got to be a cheerleader for a couple of years, and I'm very hot-headed, so I got mad about something and I quit. cut off my nose to spite my face because I loved cheering. I loved it, but I got angry because I had a little temper, and I quit. But I did it for 2 years, and